Would you introduce yourself to the court?
I'm currently Detective Tilley with the City of Dixon Police Department.
And I am probably going to continue to refer to you as Agent Tilley.
I'll respond.
And Tilley is with an E, right? So it's Tilley.
Yes.
And your first name is?
Ronald.
Ronald. All right. Agent, you have heard Norden's testimony. Let's talk about from the beginning. You guys are doing surveillance in the downtown Dixon area on this January date.
Yes.
Okay. And you also, and I didn't ask him this, I asked if he was in a marked unit. Are you guys in plain clothes or are you in some sort of uniform?
To the general person, it probably looked like almost normal clothes, but it was, we call them tack pants. They're pants that are used by law enforcement in a dressed down fashion with a standardized color of shirt with a vest that is issued by the Drug Task Force that has patches identifying police, district attorney's drug task force on them.
So you would have been, even though not, Class A's or what a normal road deputy would be on, you were in some sort of uniform identifying yourself as law enforcement.
Yes, very similar to what Deputy Norden was wearing when he was on stand. Not quite what the bailiffs are wearing, but almost exactly like what Deputy Norden was wearing when he was up here.
And it was just you and Norden. There were no other officers at the beginning of this.
Correct.
And tell me from your perspective what you observed that led to this encounter.
Like Deputy Norden said, we both observed the vehicle pull in, had dark tinted windows. Very briefly after it had parked in the Joller General parking lot, we observed a male subject get out of the vehicle and get into the back seat of the passenger side of the red Tahoe.
And what did you do?
We then exited our vehicle and walked over to the Tahoe. I was on the passenger side and Deputy Norden was on the driver's side.
Where were you guys parked? Were you in the parking lot or across the street?
We were in the parking lot and there's 2 rows of parking spaces in that particular parking lot. One is along the building and then there's another one back from in the middle of the lot closer to the intersection of Main Street and Rickard. And we were in that closer to the intersection area.
And the vehicle, as you approached it, was it next to the building or in the same row?
It was next to the building.
How many seconds passed from the time you got out of your vehicle until you made it up to the vehicle you were approaching?
I couldn't tell you exact, not long. It's a small parking lot, so not very long. I don't know, maybe 10 to 20.
And when you approached the vehicle, what, if anything, did you notice?
We observed 3 subjects occupying the vehicle, the female driver, Mr. Ricky Warren in the front passenger seat, and then Jaden Warren in the back seat.
Now, did you recognize the defendant?
I did.
Did you know that he was on probation or parole?
I did not.
And what is the first interaction between you and the occupants of the vehicle?
I believe Deputy Norden was talking to the driver, and then he recognized Mr. Ricky Warren and asked him about parole. And after it was known that he was on parole, I then asked him, or he was asked out of the vehicle.
So, and you asked that because being on parole means you're subject to search.
Correct.
Okay. And were you going to be asking to search him?
Yes.
Okay. Did you get that far?
No.
So tell us step by step what happens between him stepping out of the vehicle and you taking custody of a weapon.
After he's asked out of the vehicle, he starts to open the door, but also notice that he reaches into his waistband, and I then observe the pistol grip of a handgun.
Where do you observe that pistol grip?
It's in his waist of his pants.
Was it in a holster or just hanging by his belt?
It was just loose, I guess hanging by the waistband.
And Did you see that because he raised his shirt, or was it visible without him moving any garments?
I don't remember if he raised his shirt or not, but he had his hand around the pistol grip.
In a manner that one would draw?
Yes.
And did he draw that weapon?
No. I then grabbed his wrist and held it there so that he could not draw it.
So you both had your hands on the weapon in his waistband?
If I remember correctly, mine was more wrist area. I didn't really grab the pistol at that time, but I was just holding it into his waist so that he could not pull it.
His hand is on the gun, your hand is on his wrist. What happens next?
Myself.
And actually, let me pause. Is he in or out of the vehicle when his hand is on the gun?
He's still inside the vehicle. In the
Is
seat.
the door open or closed?
I believe it was slightly open. It may have gotten closed.
Are you reaching through the window?
I'm
Okay.
reaching through the window.
So you're reaching through the window, holding his hand. What happens next?
I believe I advised in some fashion to Deputy Norton that there's a firearm or a gun. I may have said gun. I don't remember exactly what was said, but I drew his attention to the situation, and I held Mr. Warren's hand on the gun, and Deputy Norton began giving him commands to release the gun, put his hands up, and we did so. He put his hands on the roof, and I removed the firearm.
And what type of gun was it? Do you remember?
If I remember correctly, it was an M&P. I believe that's a Smith & Wesson M&P.
Was it loaded?
I want to say it was. I know it's in the report or in the pictures, but I
Okay.
believe there was one in the chamber and the magazine was loaded.
How much time passed from approaching the vehicle to, well, and let me ask this, which happened first? Asking the adult Mr. Warren about parole, or asking the son about his age with the vape?
I believe it was parole first, but I believe they were close together because Deputy Norton asked the son about the vape and his age while I was discussing parole. Because after Deputy Norton recognized him and asked him about his parole, I began asking him too, because I was on the passenger side.
How much time would you estimate passed from when you first get up to that window until you're talking about whether or not Mr. Warren's on parole?
Very short amount of time, within a minute or two moments.
Were those questions about parole the first words you said to Mr. Warren?
I don't remember. I couldn't answer that honestly. I don't recall.
And went through this with Mr. Norton. Nobody turned on blue lights.
No
Was
lights.
the vehicle you were in equipped with blue lights?
Yes.
So you could have turned on blue lights?
Yes.
So you walk up to the vehicle. Are you guys shouting anything?
No.
Are they officially stopped? Have you told them, stop, don't leave, stay here, anything like that?
We did not make any of those comments.
So you just walk up and begin talking to them?
Yes.
When you're talking to them, is it in a normal voice like we are talking right now, or are you
Yes.
yelling?
No yelling, just conversation.
Okay. As you approach the vehicle, do you have weapons drawn?
No.
Are your hands on your weapons?
No?
How much time passes from your approach to the vehicle until you see the butt of the gun in Mr. Warren's waistband?
Again, within a couple minutes, few minutes, not long at all.
And when you see that, is it a piece of metal, or is it immediately recognized as the butt of a gun?
I immediately recognized it as the pistol grip.
When you first saw the vehicle, was it parked in the parking lot, or was it still on the public roadway?
We observed it pull into the parking lot and park.
Do you also have a training certificate for the I'm losing the words, the laser
The tent meter?
tint meter? Thank you.
Yes, I do.
Okay. And do you, over the course of your career, how many times have you visually estimated the tint on a vehicle?
A lot.
How long have you been a law enforcement officer?
13-ish years,
And how much of that time has been in narcotics?
approximately 5.
Most of the rest of that on patrol?
Yes,
And would you say you stopped at least 100 cars for window tint?
probably yes.
Can you ever recall a time that you pulled over a vehicle thinking the tint was too dark and you were wrong?
No, I do not recall.
You did not test this vehicle.
I did not.
Did you visually estimate that it was in violation of Tennessee's window tint statute?
Yes.
The action calls for opinion testimony.
It does, and I think he's qualified to give it.
I'm sorry.
It does call for his opinion, and I think I've qualified him to give it.
He has testified as to his extensive training, and his extensive experience in estimating the tint on windows.
Does it qualify him as an expert to give it?
An expert can be qualified by virtue of education as well as training or experience. So this court is of the opinion that, as I've previously stated, it doesn't necessarily require an expert, but that an officer to identify that a window is darkly tinted. It does, an officer having trained in it and having experience in it would, I think, qualify him to give that opinion. So overrule the objection.
Well, for the record, could I voir dire the witness on the,
Nope, I've made my ruling.
on the
Thank you.
Dalbert issues?
And you are a post-certified officer?
Yes.
After you secure the gun from the defendant, what happens next?
Weapon was secured. Mr. Warren was removed from the vehicle and placed under arrest.
Did you ultimately search the vehicle?
Yes.
What, if any, contraband did you locate?
In the front passenger seat area, there were some bags located that contained methamphetamine and I believe heroin or fentanyl. I don't remember the exact lab results of the tested substances.
And did Mr. Warren make any statements regarding what was located in the vehicle?
I do not recall. He was, an interview was conducted with him and there is video footage of that, but I was not the one who conducted the interview.
Was that one of the officers on the investigative side?
Yes.
So he did make statements, but they were not made to your hearing.
I'm not sure if he even made statements about the substances located. I'm just not privy to that information.
All right. One second. Nothing further, Judge?
Mr. Baker?
Kelly, can you explain why you and Officer Norton waited several minutes before you went over and approached the car?
I believe we were just sitting to see what it did. When it pulled in and just sat there and nobody got out to go into the store is when we thought it was suspicious.
Well, what was suspicious when the young fella got in the back of the truck? I mean, what was suspicious about that, getting in the back of the Tahoe?
From my training experience, that runs along the same method that drug dealers will conduct drug deals in parking lots.
Where else would they conduct these transactions out on I-40?
Well, that I've observed multiple drug transactions occur in several different areas, parking lots, houses, along the roadside, while driving down the road, grocery stores, gas stations.
Would you agree with me, it's far more common if cars are in the parking lot of Dollar General or a retail establishment, that people are going to come and go and get into parking cars, and people get picked up and get their groceries and do so forth on a daily basis? Would you agree with that?
Can you repeat that? That was a long.
People getting in and out of cars in a Dollar General store, in a retail parking lot, is a common everyday occurrence. Happens every day at every Dollar General store, probably in the entire country, correct?
Sure.
Would you agree with me that it's probably not a drug deal going down every day in every parking lot in Dollar General in the entire United States? Would you agree with that?
Sure.
So it's more likely that this was just a normal occurrence, that somebody got out of a car and got into to Mr. Warren's car.
One would hope.
One would hope, but yet you conclude it's suspicious because it's drug dealing, correct?
I didn't conclude that it was drug dealing. That's why we approached the vehicle.
Oh, because no crime had occurred that you could quantify or prove, correct?
Other than the window tint appearing to be darker than TCA allowable.
Time you approached it, could you prove that an offense had occurred? How were you going to quantify that number?
That we were going to test the window tint.
Oh, you were going to effectively make Mr. Warren or this car compel evidence against himself, correct?
Sustained.
You would agree that the Tennessee Constitution forbids one does not have to produce evidence against oneself. That's a
Well, I
statement
didn't
of
hear
the
the
law.
conclusion of the question.
You
He's
would-
aware of the
The
United
Tennessee Constitution
What?
says one is not required to produce evidence against oneself. Ours is more broad than testimonial.
I don't see the relevance of this officer's testimony, so I sustain the objection.
Okay.
Whether he's aware of it or not, I'm not, I mean, that's the question was, you ask him, is he aware that the Tennessee Constitution?
I would be very concerned if an officer doesn't know the Constitution or the laws of the state that he's enforcing. I mean, I would be very suspect, and I would be concerned that how he got post-certified. That, oh, I don't know the warrant requirements. I don't know this, and I don't know that. I mean, I would hope he would know that Tennessee's Constitution is worded very different from the United States Constitution on production of evidence and search warrants.
You finished?
I'm finished.
Go ahead. Any other questions? I've sustained the objection because I don't think the officer's knowledge of the specific language of the Tennessee Constitution versus the United States Constitution is relevant on his testimony. So,
Okay, who recovered the firearm?
I did.
Okay. And was there a chain of custody form done?
There would be a chain of custody attached to the evidence entry.
And you know who took that weapon from you?
I handed it to Officer Hollis and Detective Kirk Davison while I secured Mr. Warren. Detective Davidson, D-A-V-I-D.
pull the base of that microphone towards you a little bit there. So there you go.
Okay. And Officer Hollis.
All right, so at the point in time you approached that vehicle, you didn't know the identity of the occupants, correct?
Correct.
And in Tennessee, you can lawfully possess a firearm, correct?
Correct.
So there was no reason to detain anybody with a firearm, correct?
Can you rephrase that to where?
Based on the facts you knew at the time you approached that vehicle, every occupant in that car could have had a firearm in their waistband, and it would have been perfectly legal, to your knowledge.
Yes.
Okay, so then you go and then detain a person and take the firearm away, correct?
Yes.
And then you fill in the facts after the fact, oh, the tent's illegal and the gun's illegal, correct?
That was not determined after the fact.
Okay, wasn't it? Okay, then when did you test the window?
I did not test the window.
So it never even got tested.
But we did know before we observed the firearm in Mr. Warren's waistband that he was a felon, making it illegal for him to possess a firearm.
What point in time did you obtain that information? What time?
Prior to asking him to step out of the vehicle, due to him being on parole.
How did you know that information? Where did that information come from?
I believe he confirmed he was on parole.
So you ask him if he's on parole, and then you figure out he's got a gun?
There's a couple things in between there, but yes.
Well, you made it sound like there's just a few seconds go by, and now there's a big conversation that went on between there?
I believe I stated it was a couple to a few minutes, because we did ask him, and that's what led us to ask him out of the vehicle
Okay. And why did he need to get out of the vehicle?
for a parole search.
Did parole ask you to search him?
No, but part of the parole conditions, you're subject to search by law enforcement.
What's the nexus to the crime of the search?
Is parole?
Okay. Parole is the only search. There's no nexus to a crime, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
No further questions, Jeff.
General Bryson, you have redirect. Thank you, sir. You may step down.
Thank you, Judge.
They may call your next witness. The state has rested. Mr. Baker, do you have any questions you wish to ask, or any proof you wish to offer, rather?
For the purpose of this motion, I'd call Ricky Warren to stand.
Mr. Warren, if you'll come around, please. I know it'll be difficult to let this clerk place you under oath.
I do.
Warren, you heard Agent Tilley testify.
Yes, sir.
Can you explain to the court how your recollection of the events differ?
I know on that day, let me explain a little further. I was riding with Miss Vest because I could not drive myself because I had a car accident about a week before. I had problems with my back, was going to a chiropractor, I had spasms, can't control when I do. Anyway, I was meeting my son at the dollar store before my doctor's appointment. I know we pulled in, my son was already there. I know I couldn't get out of the vehicle because of my back. That's why we were sitting there. My son had got out, he was feeding my grandchild. So we were there for a few minutes. So that's one thing that differs. We was there for a few minutes because my son was feeding my grandchild in the car, handed the baby off, did a couple other things, grabbed his vape, as you know, they had just recently changed the law, but anyway, his drink, got out of the vehicle, then got in our vehicle. And I remember being there a couple of minutes and Norton walked up on one side, Tilly walked up on the other, never asked for a license, never asked for nothing. Got to argue with my son over the vape, because we were trying to figure out why they was even there. Then I was asked who I was and told them. I never said nothing about parole. I thought they ran the name, but
You never told him you was on parole?
no, sir. They never asked. They never even asked a driver for a license.
Who opened the car door?
I'm pretty sure after we was there for a few minutes, I had told them my name, Couple minutes later, they told me I was on parole and told me to get out.
All right.
My recollection, till he opened the door, I couldn't grab the door. I can barely move.
Okay. And you're on the passenger side, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And then what happened? Officer Tilley said something about a struggle with the gun. What happened there?
Okay. Like I said, my movements couldn't move that good. You know, I already had a parole hearing where I admitted this. I panicked. I did reach, plus I can barely move. I never pulled a gun out of my waistband, never coming. There was no struggle. They drew down on me, told me not to move. Then I put my hands up. Then he removed the firearm. I said if they had body cameras on, all this would have been on video.
What were you
Okay.
wearing that day?
I remember I had on a black hoodie, blue jeans, and a ball cap.
Would that hoodie cover your waistband?
Yes.
And able to see if there was a weapon in your waistband?
No.
Or did you observe any officers there wearing body cams?
No. I mean, I could only see Norton out of the driver window. I could see Tilley, but like I said, I had a real bad back injury. I could barely move left to right. So, but no.
Anything else you want to tell the judge that differs from your recollection from what the officers told?
Just that part, I don't remember no struggle. I remember him removing the firearm, but I had my hands in the air. I just want to note that I don't have nothing violent on my record. If I did read, it was a moment of panic. It wasn't with no malicious intent. No, I wasn't trying to hurt nobody. Nothing like that. But so, and I know we wasn't struggling. I can call 20 witnesses that'll tell you I had a back injury from a car accident. It's documented. I wrecked on the way to work. The highway patrol had to come work the wreck. They told me I was lucky to be alive.
When did the window tint get tested?
I never seen it tested. I don't know.
How long was you there with the officer?
After they got me out, I went in the back of a police car and went somewhere else.
So never got tested when you were there?
Not that I've seen, no, sir.
Okay. Were you in visual sight of the officers in the car?
Not when I was in the back of the police car, no, sir.
All right, where did they take you?
To the task force building.
Okay, so they took you off scene.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, I'll pass the witness, Judge.
General Bryson?
Mr. Warren, you
Yes.
were on parole that day,
Yes, ma'am.
and you knew who Norton was before that day.
Yeah, but it's been a while since I've seen him. I didn't recognize him.
So if you knew who he was, he knew who you were.
Very possible.
You had entered a plea to a 15-year sentence back in, was it 2019, or was that when you were released?
No, I've been locked up since 17.
Okay. How soon were you released before this event?
About 90 days.
Did you see blue lights that day? Did they activate blue lights before they walked up?
No, ma'am.
Did you even see them walking up to the vehicle?
No, ma'am.
Were they shouting like, police, put your hands up?
No, ma'am.
What's the first thing you remember the officer saying to you?
First thing I heard anybody say was Norton, and he asked all of us, like, what are y'all doing?
Okay. Nothing further, Judge.
Thank you. So they step down. Mr. Baker? Anything else?
Yeah, I would like one follow-up question.
Have him come back.
Who ordered the people out of the car and when?
I don't remember. I was the only one ordered out of the vehicle, and it was after they told me I was on parole.
Okay, so who told him he was on parole? Did you tell him, or he found it
No,
out?
I didn't tell him. He didn't ask.
So you didn't tell him anything about parole?
No, only thing I told him was my name when asked, because I believe Norton asked me my name.
You feel like you could stay in the car?
No, not when they told me to step out. I was on parole. No. Yes, sir.
Anything further, General? Thank you. Now you may sit down.